Video game leaks have been around for decades. Everyone who's been a fan of video games, whether it's for Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, or some other game developer studio, has definitely experienced them. More specifically, I'm talking about leaking unannounced games or content within the games, and not whole company-wide leaks, despite there being a fair share of those. While every company experiences major leaks, such as Sony with Last of Us 2 being completely leaked months before release and completely blowing up the game's hype and reputation, as well as Insomniac's mega leak revealing Spider-Man 2 information and even plans for a Spider-Man co-op game, the company that seems to experience a lot of leaks is Nintendo. I mean, this can pretty much be summed up by one game, which is Super Smash Bros. I mean, if you were around the internet during the time of Super Smash Bros., you were definitely aware of these leaks. We even had fake leaks that seemed so real, everyone thought they were, like the Rayman leak. With the release of Ultimate, leaks were everywhere. I mean, what other game could you make an hour-long video talking about just the leaks of the game? Well, this is just one singular game in Nintendo's very large lineup. This shows the apparent leak culture present within Nintendo and its games. Over the years, many leakers have come and gone, but one in recent memory that stands above the rest is Pyoro. Pyoro, or Pyoro, but I'm going to say Pyoro, is a very interesting case. All that is known to describe them is the red bird Pyoro from the WarioWare series. While the reasoning for this avatar is unknown, it's likely just one of the leaker's favorite characters. Pyoro's first leak would be a very small leak tweeted from their Twitter account on September 13th, 2022. For about 6 months, Pyoro would only tweet about smaller titles such as the Yakuza franchise, some of the Amigo, or Civilization. It wasn't even until 7 months later since Pyoro's account creation in late May that Pyoro would have their first major Nintendo leak, and that was Everybody Want to Switch. Did you guys even know that game existed? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised as Nintendo just kind of tweeted about its existence as the only form of promotion and called it a day. Even with the game itself being dumb and not really cared about by anyone, it was the first major Nintendo game that Pyoro correctly leaked. It gave Pyoro credibility that most leakers don't even have in their whole careers. Yet, Pyoro did it very quickly. But up ahead was one of Pyoro's biggest leaks of their entire career. Ahead of the Nintendo June Direct, Pyoro would tweet, "In case you were wondering what games will be announced in this week's Nintendo Direct, a new 2D Super Mario Bros. And a remake of a SNES classic." To add fuel to this fire and their credibility, Pyoro would also tweet out a gif of Big Yoshi, whose one and only appearance was in Super Mario RPG. Sure enough, when the June Nintendo Direct got announced, we both got Super Mario RPG and Super Mario Bros. Wonder. He would also quickly tweet out a gif of Detective Pikachu that was quickly followed by the announcement of Detective Pikachu for the Switch, as well as teasing Pikmin 1 and 2 Remaster for the Switch in the same June Direct. Along with some correct teases of Sonic game information, Pyoro was on a complete roll, and Nintendo fans started to adore this mysterious red bird. They were already a completely fan favorite amongst Nintendo fans on Twitter. With the upcoming Nintendo Direct, this appreciation for Pyoro would only skyrocket. Before this Nintendo Direct, Pyoro would tweet out a spew of tweets that all turned out to be 100% true, and this is unseen in the leak community. Most of the time, a leaker gets one or two things right, but never as much as Pyoro got right. Donkey Kong vs. Mario, DS and Wii remakes of a game, a correct name for the Princess Peach game of Peach Showtime, and even accurately saying the Nintendo Switch has games, which might be his biggest leak of all. While he also tweeted some things that were not apparently hints, even though they lined up pretty well with what was revealed, it was clear Pyoro was only hits all the time. This direct was most likely Pyoro's absolute peak, with similar tweets getting over 1 million views and tens of thousands of likes and interactions. This is one of the biggest leakers by far. If you were anywhere in the Nintendo culture on the internet, you definitely saw Pyoro. Through their charismatic and fun tweets that poke fun of fake leak accounts like delete your account, they naturally amassed many die-hard fans and followers that were ready to believe whatever Pyoro tweeted out. Pyoro would be gone for the next few months unscathed, not leaking anything massive but still being accurate with their leaks for a Nintendo Partner Showcase and some news about Thousand Year Door and Luigi's Mansion 2. Their last dance would be tweeting out a picture teasing NES All-Stars Remix. Ever since then, Pyoro has never been the same. Before I discuss the downfall of their career, first we need to talk about how he's so credible. Many assume they had access to Nintendo's YouTube account, but Pyoro was very adamant that that was impossible, not their avenue of information. While still unknown truly how Pyoro was so knowledgeable, many assume a variety of options. The one I personally believe is that Pyoro had communications with the eShop or website backend, which we will go on later with information I'm about to tell you. Coming into June, many were expecting a Nintendo Direct and even more Pyoro shenanigans. However, early in June, infamous leakers in the gaming space such as Midori began to either step down or slowly be taken by legal methods. This left many confused and scared for their favorite reliable leakers, and many saw Pyoro as the last hope. However, Pyoro wouldn't go anywhere, but with the next Nintendo Direct coming up, he was surprisingly quiet. In fact, they barely tweeted anything, minus one emoji tease of a Japanese exclusive game and a false tip about a Zelda remake, but to be fair, they did say to take it with a grain of salt. However, with this complete abnormality on Pyoro's account, people began to get angry. On a poll on whether they should delete their account or not, 56,000 people said yes, increasing a lot from the last poll of a similar vein. People began to become very outspoken against Pyoro, and while this was long spoken as many people do not like leakers, which is understandable, it hasn't been seen to this level. This paradox can be pretty much summed up by this one quote by Green Goblin from Spider-Man.
And they found you amusing for a while, the people of this city. But the one thing they love more than a hero is to see a hero fail, fall, die trying. In spite of everything you've done for them, eventually they will hate you. Why bother?
However, Pyoro's ultimate desires would come from themselves. Recently, Pyoro was interviewed by a credible game journalist, but Pyoro would announce that their leak and information came from a backend on the Nintendo website. This was incredibly stupid, but Pyoro quickly tweeted out that they didn't know what they were saying would be put in an article. This eventually would lead Pyoro to privating their account and deleting all their tweets, which led to a bunch of information being gone and essentially the death of Pyoro. While Pyoro's account is still up and running, all that exists still is non-Nintendo leaks, and it seems to be done for Pyoro in all. While it may be true and possible that Pyoro was joking or just trying to throw a red herring on the source of information, it is possible Pyoro was being dead serious, and we may never see them tweet ever again. With Pyoro's apparent leak, we now do know that his information came from a website or eShop backend, but he may be lying. If it's not this case, I truly don't have any other clue on what or how he got his information, but it's possible he was just a Nintendo employee, or maybe his uncle even worked for Nintendo. All in all, Pyoro will go down as one of Nintendo's biggest leakers ever. Yet due to their recent shortcomings, they may leave a bad or horrible taste in many Nintendo fans' mouths. Well, I feel like Pyoro wouldn't intentionally tweet out or give out wrong information about himself. It's very interesting to see just how quick people will turn when a person is wrong once or twice. Although the argument may be different for people online and leakers who leak important information that many people don't want to know about their favorite games, in real life, I think it's important to give people second chances. We're all just humans and we're all just trying to make our way through lives the best we can. I'm done with the philosophy now, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It took a ton of work and leaving a like or even subscribing would go a long way. If you have any thoughts on Pyoro's situation, or maybe you even think Pyoro was lying about their information, do you think Pyoro will ever return? Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time.